everyone, and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. I hope you're all well and in good health and having a great day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And I hope you're all getting excited and ready for the big day that's, what is it? It's just over a week away now, isn't it? So, yeah, hope you're all getting excited about that. I have to say I'm getting increasingly concerned about this COVID situation, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Premier League getting shut down for a while. I think it would probably be the best thing to do given the circumstances, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. And James is here with a comment. He says, Horan, I hope you're well. Good win for you guys against West Ham the other night. Yeah, it was. It was a good win. And it was a much-needed victory, confidence-boosting victory for me against a side that have been doing really well this season and for the majority of last season. So, you know, hopefully they can kick on now and start putting in some proper performances, particularly away from home. That's what I want to see. And the only downside is likes of Terry are going to be having street parties and open top bus tours because of it and whatnot. So, yeah, but also good draw for Everton last night at Chelsea. I don't know. I guess you must be really happy about that. Good point for Everton, I feel. So, yeah, I heard that there was a big banner in the away end at Stamford Bridge saying, what did he say? Rafa Benitez, get out of our club or something like that, which I think's a bit harsh, but still, I can understand their frustrations and whatnot. Anyway, everyone, before we get really going, can I just ask you to make sure you hit the like button? Also, please subscribe to my channel. And also, please remember to share the video around with as many different people as you can. It just helps get me known out there in the big wide yonder and hopefully get a few more people interested in my channel. So, yeah, if you could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. James has come in with a few more chats saying, I was shocked that we got a point last night. Our kids who played last night were excellent. Yeah, because I was thinking about this last night, James, before the game kicked off, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder what Everton's youth development policies like. Because down the years, Everton have always brought through some good youngsters into the first team, as far as I can remember, anyway. But this was going back into the 80s and whatnot. So I was just thinking, and then obviously the big one, obviously, was Wayne Rooney. He made his debut against us, as it happens, and scored on his debut against us as well with an absolute belter of a goal. So yeah, I was thinking about that last night. There were two banners in the crowd, says James. One calling Benitez to go, and the other one was sack the board. Well, fair enough. That's that's fair enough. Because to be honest, I don't think it would matter who you'd have in control. I think you'd still, if you got rid of Benitez and you appointed, I don't know, Antonio Conte, and I know he's not available and whatnot, but I'm just using that as an example. He's a top elite manager. If he was to get appointed and go in there, I don't think it would make any difference whatsoever. And I do get a suspicion in the back of my mind when I think about the way that Don Carlo left Everton, that I reckon he left because he knew it was coming. He saw it coming. That's what I think. And he didn't want it on his CV. So I think he saw it coming and he decided to get out while the going was good, to be quite honest. But that's what I think. You might disagree with me about it, mate, but that's what I've been thinking that for a few weeks now about Don Carlo, because I really rate Don Carlo. I think he's a really, really top draw manager. And James Dunlop says we're about to sign a left back from Ukraine. I've heard today. Not going to lie, I don't have a clue who the player is. But if your supporters are anything like ours are, they sit there. They've got about 7 or 8 different screens on. They know about every player in every league across the world and whatnot. And they'll probably be able to tell you everything you need to know about him. I agree with that comment on Ancelotti. Yeah, but I just find it really quite suspicious because, especially now that we know what's happened, like I just think that he saw it coming and I thought, no, I'm not being part of this, and he decided to. Especially when Real Madrid came knocking as well, he probably thought, yeah, I'll have some of that. Get me out of here. So anyway, we're going to review match day 18 of the FA Premier League. And this is the league table as it was this morning after the games up until last night. And Manchester City are sat top. Liverpool a second and Chelsea a third. And Manchester City and Liverpool have opened a tiny, tiny little gap over Chelsea in third. City are 4 points ahead of them and Liverpool are 3 points. Arsenal are in fourth, surprisingly. 8 points behind Chelsea. And West Ham, after losing to Arsenal the other night, are in fifth. United sit in sixth. Tottenham are in seventh. Wolves are in eighth. And so we go down. And Everton sat in 14th for James. And the bottom 3 is Burnley, Newcastle and Norwich. But the bottom 2 seem to be slightly getting adrift of the rest of them. If you notice that Burnley and Watford have both got games in hand over the bottom 2. It'd be interesting to see what happens this weekend, if anything happens at all. But we'll come to that in a minute. So the FA Premier League fixtures for this weekend, and there's only 5 left. There's been 5 games postponed. So the games that were scheduled to go ahead were Manchester United and Brighton on Saturday at 12:30. That game has been postponed because of COVID. There's a game at 3:00 between Aston Villa and Burnley. That's scheduled to go ahead still at present. And then also at 3:00 on Saturday, we had Southampton against Brentford, Watford and Crystal Palace, West Ham and Norwich, and all those games have fallen to COVID. And then at 5:30, there's the Leeds Arsenal game, which at the moment is still scheduled to go ahead. And then on Sunday, Everton and Leicester game has been called off. I'm guessing that's because of COVID. And then the other games on Sunday, there's one at 2:00 between Wolves and Chelsea, 2:15 Newcastle against Manchester City, then 4:30 Tottenham against Liverpool, and those games are still going ahead. So what that means is because on Saturday I usually do a match day live broadcast. I usually start about 3:20, 2:45, and we cover all the games that are kicking off at 3:00 in the Premier League. I'm still going to do it, but I will be covering any other games we can find that are going to kick off at 3:00. So there might be games from the Championship, from League 1, League 2, wherever, just so that we can have something to broadcast, really. And there's some chats here from Dan Evans. Hi, Dan. How are you? Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for popping in. Dan says hello. Yeah, it's good to see you, Dan. Thanks very much. James Dunlop says Man United 2, Brighton 1, Southampton 1, Brentford 1, Watford 1, Palace 2, West Ham 2, Norwich 0, Everton 1, Leicester 2. Would have been my predictions if they all went ahead. Yeah, mate, I've still done my predictions, but we'll come to that in a little while. Yes, because it's been a bit mad, hasn't it, really? So if we look at the current form of these teams, then there was either scheduled to play at the weekend or will be playing at the weekend, and hopefully we can sort of get an idea about what might happen. Dan Evans said you should come and watch the best team, Stockport County. Mate, one day I will come back to Stockport County and I will come with my Maidstone shirt on. That'll be a laugh, won't it? Yeah, that would be wild. They still play at the same ground as you've always played in. You do, don't you, I think? It's Edgeley Park, isn't it? So, yeah, Manchester United against Brighton, that game's gone. I worked out all the current form for those games, but it's gone, so there's no point talking about that. The next game, Villa against Burnley. Right, so Villa, in their last 5 home games, they've lost 3 and won 2. They lost 3-2 at home to Wolves. They lost 4-1 at home to West Ham United. They won 2-0 at home to Brighton. And I think that was Slippy G's first game in charge of Villa. And then Manchester City, they lost 2-1 at home. And then Leicester, they won by 2-1. And then Dan says, what are your thoughts about stopping the perm for like 10 days as it's the main thing right now? I think they should. Just one, because I think the players are shattered, because a lot of them have been playing consistently for almost 2 years. And the other reason is because of everything that's going on. It could be a really good way of stopping it, this bloody evil illness from spreading. It could be a good way to try and stop it, because you're going to have loads of people all congregating in one place, and I just think it's a bit mad. So yeah, stopping it for a couple of weeks, maybe until the new year, something like that, I think would be a good idea. And yeah, because otherwise it's, especially at the moment, people dying left, right and centre. I just feel a bit uncomfortable with the idea of it, really. Dan says, yeah, same stadium, but with a lot of upgrades completed to it. Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing... Actually, no, you're right. I do... I did know that it was the same stadium. I don't know why I asked that question, honestly. But yeah, when I was doing work for that FA Cup stream, I noticed that from looking at the pictures that it looked a little bit different to what I remembered it being. So, yeah. How's Stockport's form been since they lost to Rotherham in the FA Cup? Because it looked like they gave Rotherham a real good game, to be quite frank. James says, I think the Premier League and the lower football leagues should all be halted now. No point putting staff, players and fans and others at risk with all this Omicron spreading about. That's exactly what I think as well, James. At the end of the day, people's lives and health is far more important than a game of football, in my opinion. And James Dunlop says, I'm pleased our game got called off on Sunday because I'm hesitant with what's going on in the country. I don't blame you, James. Don't go to a game if you don't feel safe, mate. Just, there's always ways that you can watch it and whatnot. I know you've got a season ticket and whatever, but no, we can't be having you going to games, mate, if you don't feel safe. It's just not on. But I fully agree with what you just said. And Burnley's last five away games seen them lose 2-0 at Manchester City. They drew 2-2 with Southampton. They drew 1-1 with Chelsea. They drew 0-0 with Wolves, and they lost 1-0 at Newcastle. So they haven't done too badly, to be honest. Obviously there are like to a few wins sprinkled in amongst those 5 fixtures, but it's not too bad. I mean, the highlight of it for me probably is the 1-1 draw that they got down at Chelsea. So next game, Southampton and Brentford, that's gone, so there's no point talking about that. Next one, Watford against Palace, that's gone as well, so there's no point talking about that. West Ham and Norwich, that's gone as well. And we'll talk about Arsenal and Leeds in a minute. And Dan says, we gave them an amazing game, a win in my eyes and many other fans' eyes. Only 1 goal scored against us, top of League One, but last weekend we lost 2-1, but one of their goals was a penalty in the fourth minute of added time. Yeah, and the thing is as well, in that game against Rotherham, you looked like you had a perfectly good goal disallowed for offside. I was a bit unsure about whether it was offside, to be honest. It didn't look particularly offside to me, but what do I know? Do you know what I mean? It just looked like it wasn't. And that fella you've got playing up front, you've got this absolutely massive guy playing up front. He looks like he must be about 6'9" or something. And Dan says, and an own goal. Well, oh dear. Well, hopefully they can bounce back and start getting themselves on the winning track again. So, the next game sees Leeds entertain Arsenal at Ellen Road. Now, Arsenal's away form of late hasn't been very good. Leeds will be looking to get a win in this game to further cement their place in the Premier League and move up the table. Dan says even some of their own fans were saying the ref was shocking. I think the refs in this country are a joke, mate, to be honest. I really do. I've got no respect for them whatsoever. I know that's appalling. I know it's a shocking thing to say, but I just look at the way that they handle some of the games and I'm like mystified about what's going on. To me, it's got a really bad whiff of corruption about it. Nothing's going to take away from me that there's something fishy going on. It's just too mad. And James Dunlop says Leeds got ripped apart at Man City. Bielsa never changes the way his team plays. Exactly. But they are going to be so hyped up in this game against Arsenal to make sure the same thing doesn't happen again. And to be honest, I can't see Arsenal creating 7 chances, let alone scoring 7. So, it's going to be a really interesting game. And I think it's going to be a really hard-fought game. But we'll see what happens. So in their last 5 home games, Watford have won 1-0 at home to Watford. They drew 1-1 with Wolves, drew 1-1 with Leicester, beat Crystal Palace 1-0 and drew 2-2 with Brentford. So in their last 5 home games, they haven't lost a single game. They've been unbeaten in those 5 games. Whereas Arsenal, their last 5 away games have saw them draw 0-0 at Brighton. They won 2-0 at Leicester. They lost 4-0 at Liverpool, lost 3-2 at Manchester United. And as we all know, they lost 2-1 at Everton. When in all likelihood on another day, if it hadn't have been VAR, it could have been 4-1. But there you go. Dan says, I think some of the refs is shocking myself. And as a FA qualified referee myself, I always go into the game without looking at any of the team's last games. Wow. That's impressive and must take a lot of discipline to do that, mate. One of my best mates was a referee as well, and he never used to like talking about other referees' decisions in matches and whatnot. He just used to shy away from it. But yeah, that's interesting. So the next game was Everton and Leicester, which has been postponed, so there's no point talking about that one. The next game sees Wolves take on Chelsea at Molineux. In Wolves' last 5 home games, they've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. They beat Newcastle at home 2-1. They beat Everton at home 2-1. They beat West Ham at home 1-0. They drew 0-0 with Burnley, and they lost 1-0 at home to Liverpool. And Chelsea's last 5 away games have seen them win 4 and lose 1. They won 1-0 at Brentford, won 3-0 at Newcastle, won 3-0 at Leicester, won 2-1 at Watford, and lost 3-2 at West Ham. So yeah, it's quite an interesting matchup. And the thing is, for me, that Wolves recently, they look really, really solid and really difficult to break down. So I think this is going to be an interesting game. And it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top and whether Chelsea are able to address their poor current form, because they haven't been doing well of late. They've slipped up a few times. So it'd be interesting to see if they can get themselves back on track. Newcastle against Manchester City. Now, this has got an absolute hammering written all over it. It really has, in my eyes. Now, in Newcastle's last 5 home games, they lost 3-2 to Tottenham, 3-0 to Chelsea. They drew 3-0 with Brentford. They drew 1-0 with Norwich, and they beat Burnley 1-0. And Manchester City, in their last 5 away games, they've drawn 1 and won 4. They drew 2-2 with Liverpool, won 4-1 against Brighton, won 2-0 at Manchester United. They won 2-1 against Aston Villa and 3-1 against Watford. So Dan says, it's very awkward when I'm at County and all the fans are throwing a hissy fit at a referee trying to get a foul when it was clearly not a foul, and I'm just sat there not shouting. Mate, you must have the patience of a saint, because I would really struggle not to bite back, but you can't, can you? You've got to be like really professional and all the rest of it. And yeah, I think you deserve a medal, mate. I really do. But you must love your football. That's all I can say. But yeah, I reckon it must be really hard work. And especially having to deal with the players as well when they're like trying to manipulate you or trying to get something from you or whatnot. And then James Dunlop says, Chelsea's form has dropped. If their form carries on the way it is going, Tuchel might be gone. We all know how Chelsea operate. Mate, if it continues till Easter, it'd be gone. It'd be gone. Absolutely no doubt. And I'll tell you what, if they do get rid of him, I can tell you right away who will not be replacing him at Chelsea. And that is a certain Spaniard by the name of Mikel Arteta will not replace him at Stamford Bridge. That's for sure. They won't touch him with a barge pole. But yeah, I 100% agree with that assessment. And then, yeah, so the last game of the weekend sees Tottenham take on Liverpool. And Tottenham's last 5 games have seen them win, home games that is, have seen them win 2-1 against Aston Villa. They've lost 3-0 to Manchester United. They won 2-1 against Leeds, won 2-0 against Brentford and 3-0 against Norwich. Whereas Liverpool, their last 5 away games have seen them win 4 and lose 1. They won 5-0 at Watford, 5-0 at Manchester United. They lost 3-2 at West Ham, 4-1 at Everton, and 1-0 at Wolves. So, yeah, you could see that Liverpool really probably will get the upper hand in this one, but it's difficult to say, particularly as Antonio Conte seems to be getting his message across to the Spurs players. I know they haven't played for a few weeks, but I'm sure they'll be chomping at the bit to finally get onto the pitch and play a game of football. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to look at the predictions that I've made for this weekend's upcoming matches. So for the game with Brighton, So the first game, Manchester United against Brighton, I would have said it was going to be 1-0 to Man United. The second game, Villa against Burnley, I'm going for a 2-0 win for Villa. And then the third game, Southampton and Brentford, I would have said that Brentford would win that game by 2-1. And then Watford against Crystal Palace, I would have plumped for a 2-0 win for Palace. And West Ham and Norwich, I would have gone for a 2-1 win for West Ham. And then the Leeds-Arsenal match, I'm going for Leeds to edge the match by 2-1. And then Everton against Leicester, I think it will be a 1-1 draw. And then Wolves against Chelsea, I'm going for a 1-0 win for Chelsea. The game between Everton and Leicester, really, I think Everton could do with getting another victory. But given that Leicester have been on their own recent quite poor run of form, I think that they will be fighting for their lives, really, and fighting for their manager. So for that reason, I've gone for a draw. And then the Wolves-Chelsea game, I think Wolves look really solid. And that's why I think it'll just be 1-0 win for Chelsea. Because I just think something's not quite working at Chelsea at the moment. I don't know whether it's because they've got a lot of players out or what it is, but something's not quite right there. And then Newcastle against Manchester City, I think City are going to absolutely thump them. I think City will win that game by 4-0. And then finally, Tottenham and Liverpool. I think Liverpool win by 2-1. And Dan says, LDK, why Harry Kane hasn't left Tottenham. They haven't won anything and they aren't the best. NGL. Yeah, I don't understand why he's not left. I really don't. Maybe because Manchester City didn't want to pay Tottenham the money that Tottenham wanted for him, and that's why he had that meltdown of sorts. I don't know, but he's not the same player as he was last season. I don't think, anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him leave before the end of the season, either in January or in the summer transfer window. That's for sure. And James says, my predictions for the games that are going ahead, he's put Villa 2, Burnley 0, Leeds 1, Arsenal 2, Wolves 1, Chelsea 1, Newcastle 0, Man City 3, and Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. And that's the fixtures for this. Oh, sorry, guys. That's the fixtures for this weekend and the times they kick off. So that's on the Warren's Team Talk Facebook page. If you want to go and check that out and have a look at it, you're more than welcome to. It's also got information about this predictions game. Dan, basically what it is, we've got a game that we do. It's a bit like Sky Sports Soccer 6, Super 6. Basically what it is, we predict the scores for all the weekend's matches and we get points for how accurate our predictions are. And and then we've got like a table that's running throughout the course of the season. There's no prize involved. It's just a bit of fun for those people who want to be involved in it, who are involved with Warren's Team Talk YouTube channel. So if you want to be involved with that, you're more than welcome. All I ask is that you get your predictions to me by 5 o'clock the day before the first game kicks off, or you come on to one of these streams, the preview stream, and give me your predictions in the stream. You can do it that way, or you can email your predictions to me if you want to be involved. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun, really. And Dan says, I personally think Ronaldo is a waste of money for United right now. Yeah, I don't understand. Personally, I don't really understand why they bought him, because I think there are other areas of the pitch that needed strengthening. Like, for example, the midfield area. I think that they'd signed him just to stop him from going to Manchester City. That's what I think. Because I think from what I was reading and hearing at the time, it sounded like he was pretty much nailed on to go to City. So, yeah. That's what I think anyway. So, yeah, I think you're probably right, really, about your assessment of Ronaldo. I don't think he's a good fit for United, especially because they had Cavani and he was banging in quite a few goals for them last season. He seemed to be doing a good job. So this was the outcome of my predictions for the matches that were played during the week this week. And so the first game, Brentford against Manchester United, that happened on Tuesday. That game got postponed. And then Norwich against Aston Villa. I said it would be a 1-1 draw, and Villa won by 2-0. Manchester City against Leeds. I said that City would win by 2-1. And as we all know, City thumped Leeds 7-0. And then Brighton against Wolves, I said it would be a 0-0 draw, and Wolves won by 1-0. And then Burnley against Watford, I said it would be a 1-0 win for Burnley, but as we know, the game got called off. And then Palace against Southampton, I said that Palace would win by 2-1, and the game ended in a 2-2 draw. And Arsenal against West Ham, I said West Ham would win by 2-1, and Arsenal won by 2-0, thankfully. I'm absolutely buzzing about that, to be quite frank, because I didn't see that coming at all. And then Leicester against Tottenham, I said it would be a 2-2 draw, and the game ended up getting called off. And then Chelsea against Everton, I said that Chelsea would win by 3-0, and the game ended in a 1-1 draw. And then Liverpool against Newcastle, I said the game would be a 3-1 win for Liverpool, and it was in fact a 3-1 win. So well done me. Finally, I got a prediction right. So there you go. So I just want to big up the Claude Trust. If you're not aware, and I'm sure you all are, Claude from Arsenal Fan TV sadly died earlier in the year, and his daughter and two of the guys from the YouTube channel he had decided to set up a trust in his memory, and the trust gives opportunities for disadvantaged people, in particular children and disabled people, to attend football matches at the Emirates Stadium. So please go and check that out. I've put the link to the trust in the description of the video. It's an excellent trust, like I say, and the two guys who continue to run his YouTube channel, which is Claude and the Bansters, their activities from that YouTube work go to financially support the Claude Trust as well. So James says, rest in peace, Claude, proper fan and top fella. Absolutely, mate, 100%. Absolutely loved his passion and the way he used to talk about Arsenal and football in general, to be quite honest. And I just want to big up a few other channels. There's the Old School Gunner. He's been supporting Arsenal since 1992. He discusses all things Arsenal and brings you insightful content about the Gunners. There's the Three Pointers TV. They bring you cutting-edge watch-alongs, and they are cutting-edge, believe you me. News, gossip, and many other topics relating to Arsenal. Arsenal Alex, he brings you stuff about all things Arsenal, including instant match reactions. Drawn by Dre, he's another guy who does top quality content, and especially his excellent possession-based podcast, which is absolutely superb in my opinion. And then the Aussie Gooner. Now he discusses all things Arsenal from an Aussie perspective, and mate, his videos are absolutely superb. It's top quality stuff. I absolutely love listening to him and way he talks. There's no airs and graces with him. He just says what he thinks and how he finds it, and I love it. And then the Claude and the Bansters channel, as I said, from the money they get, they make a contribution from the YouTube activities, and the money they make from YouTube, like I say, they give some of that money to support the Claude Trust, and their videos are absolutely superb. Particularly when the two presenters, Terry and Diesel, are on the stream together. The two of them often end, well, 99% of the time they end up having a massive tear up, arguing about Mikel Arteta and stuff like that. So it's absolutely superb. And links to all these channels are in the description of the video. So if it's something that you're interested in, finding out supporters' views about Arsenal, go and check them out, because you won't be disappointed, I can assure you. Anyway, so basically that's the end of my review for this weekend's games. I will be back again on tomorrow, probably 2:45 for my Matchday Live stream, where I cover all the drama and excitement from 3:00 kickoffs all up and down the country. So if you're available and you fancy joining me, please feel free to do so. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely wild if we get any games to talk about, because they seem to be going down by the minute. So we'll see what happens. And James Donlott says, I'm guessing Tony will be avoiding Terry after what happens between Arsenal and West Ham. Can't blame him, to be honest. Not that loud. Yeah, I bet he will. That Christmas Day lunch is going to be very entertaining, I'm sure. Jesus. Terry is going to be unbelievable. He really is. I wish I could see his face when they bring out the turkey and they got that picture of Mikel Arteta on the turkey. That is going to be absolutely wild. But he still hasn't surfaced, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, anyway, that's it for now, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please don't forget to put a like on the video. Please remember to share the content around with as many different people as you can. I really very much appreciate that. And yeah, if I don't see you before, I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow lunchtime. Tomorrow early afternoon, hopefully. It was very nice chatting to you, says Dan. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, and exactly. And the same to you, Dan. And I hope everyone has a really great rest of the day. Please take care of yourselves and all your loved ones and friends and colleagues and all the rest of it. Please share some love and kindness around the world. And yeah, like I say, I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully tomorrow. Take care, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care. Bye for now. Thanks very much.